Hello, 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 Internet! It is me, Saber King, back again with another Death Battle First Impressions review. Unfortunately, because of my birthday weekend, I was unable to write a script review for this latest Death Battle, so we're gonna once again be doing it this way. I promise you, for the next time, there will be a review script. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about today's episode. One that I've been excited for and dreading, and it's finally here. Zuko versus Todoroki. I know I joked in the last video that Zuko was going to win, but I was lying to myself. There was no way in hell that he was going to win. I apologize for that. But speaking of that, before I even get into the video, I just want you all to know, I had the opportunity to do a G1 blog on this fight. So if you follow the G1 prediction team, then you can go ahead and check out my blog. I'll leave a link down below. So let's go ahead and get straight into this episode. Of course, we're going to go by the old standard stuff. Voice acting, animation, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to talk about the music because there wasn't really much I could say other than it was a pretty serviceable track. Voice acting was probably my favorite part of this episode, simply because they actually got Dante Bosco to come back and reprise his role as the iconic character, and boy, he has not lost his touch. His delivery, the way he immersed himself in the character, all of it was fantastic, and truth be told, this is probably my favorite part of the episode because of it. Yes, that you can chalk that up to bias, but it doesn't even matter. What does matter is I loved his portrayal. He still managed to get me emotionally invested in the character, and it was just sad that he unfortunately had to go. But on the other side, we also have John Duran as Todoroki. I thought his performance was pretty okay. I've never been a fan of Todoroki's English voice acting, but I thought here it was somewhat much better, and I did enjoy the emotional and heated, no pun intended, moments that Todoroki would have in this episode, and really just showing you how similar these characters are while also seeing what drives Todoroki. And of course, we get A+ Ultra, so that was very awesome to hear as well. I have no problems with these two actors, obviously. They were just fantastic together. I rewatched this episode 5 more times because of their chemistry, their acting, and just how they went about portraying the characters that they got to voice. So overall, as I said, voice acting was fucking on point. And now let's jump in to the storyboard and animation, because these two play a huge, significant role in the finished product. First of all, of course, I gotta give a shout out to my man John, the official storyboarder for Death Battle. He did such a killer job representing both of these characters, their fighting styles, showing how each one is unique from the other, the different types of fire that was going on, the ice, really capturing the way they move. Like, for example, he actually went and pretty much did a fantastic job recreating the Last Dragon dance that Zuko and Aang did when they trained with the Last Dragons, but also capturing the fluidity of how Book 3 Zuko does his firebending, while also showing Todoroki sliding around, using his ice, his fire, and just how they interacted with one another. And then, of course, you have the ice heaven and so much fire. It all complements itself wonderfully into the animation, which, of course, leads me to my bro Lewis, who did such a fantastic job with following John's storyboard to a T and really making it feel so well connected. I don't know about y'all, But this color palette for this particular episode, it had my eyes on the edge of their seats because there was so much fire, there was so much red, there was so much blue, and just all these different particle effects for the snow and the fire flames. I loved every second of it. And how can I not praise these two sprite models? On the one hand, I heard people complain a lot over this Todoroki sprite, but with me, I don't really give a shit. As long as it looks like Todoroki, I don't care if it has its little nitpicks. It doesn't really matter. As long as it looks like the character it is supposed to be, then I feel we should all just move the hell on. But that's just me personally. I get it if Todoroki's face freaks y'all out, but seriously, it's still nowhere near as bad as Wiz and Boomstick's new cringy designs. I will never get over that. I'm sorry. And then we go over to Zuko. Holy crap. Talk about a fucking improvement, because, man, no offense to the creator of the old Avatar sprites, but I never gelled with those. I never liked them. They were just too pixely. There weren't enough intricate details. There was really nothing that separated them from the great sprites that we have in Death Battle today. So the fact that the team went all out making these sprites from the ground up for Zuko, it just looks fucking fantastic. And once again, I'm so glad that they chose Book 3 Zuko's design, because that is the best design for Zuko in my honest to God opinion. And if you got a problem with that, well then there's the unsubscribe button. So yes, overall, holy crap. And talk about a great tense ending, because, man, even though I knew Zuko was unfortunately not going to have a chance of winning, it very much was a close fight. Then the analysis and the research made it sound, in my personal opinion. And just overall, I loved the way the kill death was done. Yeah, it does unfortunately hit you in the childhood. God, I really hate that Zuko had to die, and I agree with Wiz. It's such a huge loss, but regardless, I still loved this episode. I think, in my opinion, and I know this is going to be a bit controversial, I think this is better than Beerus vs. Galaxia. For me, personally, because of all of these things that I have mentioned, and really getting down into the nitty-gritty, I really enjoyed the more character-driven death battles that go deep into these characters and have them have something to fight for, instead of they just fight, they destroy shit, and, you know, it's just nothing but a spectacle. Those type of fights I still love, and there's nothing wrong with them. But it's these types of fights that really get me hooked on Death Battle to this day. So, yes, aside from my personal nitpick of wanting this fight to be a bit longer, and maybe being biased and hoping Zuko would have won, but realistically, it wasn't going to happen. I'm so sorry, Zuko. So, with all of that being said, I have to go ahead and give this fight a solid A. It is a little bit better than Beerus vs. Galaxia, in my honest opinion, but that's only because it just had a little bit more than what I was asking for or hoping for in the last fight. So, yes, guys, that was my first impressions of Zuko versus Todoroki. Let me know what you guys think down below. Of course, if you disagree with my opinion, that's completely fine. If you want to debate about it, just type down below what you think, and I'll read your entire comment, and I'll respond to you. Again, it's no trouble. And go ahead and give this video a like, give it a share around. If you're new to my channel, you want to see more Death Battle videos, because that's unfortunately what gets me more subscribers instead of my original videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as for the next time, oh God, Okay, I'm not joking this time. I'm really not joking. Sonic is so gonna die again. We'll get to that in 2 weeks. But until then, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is Saber King saying thank you so much for watching. And until then, may my reign last for an eternity.